Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on the LunaCraft server. And in today's video, we're going to be getting up above the Nether roof. We're going to break a piece of bedrock so we can get up and down. And we're going to be starting work on the gold farm that we're going to put up there. But before we get into that, I quickly want to show you the progress that I've been making over here at our Nether base. Since last episode, we've been using our beacon here and doing some haste mining, leveling out this area and putting down some slabs to try to spawn proof it a little bit to stop some of the magma cubes that we have spawning over here. We still get some. I've got a little bit more work to do, especially up top, but I've made quite a bit of progress. You can see that there's a lot of blackstone slabs. They're just kind of all over the place on the side walls here where things could spawn before, and all along the floor. Come down here so you can take a good look around. I'm going to do probably a little bit more slabbing up top, because every now and then you'll see a magma cube just fall down from the ceiling. Is probably where that guy came from there. But before we really get to work on building up some kind of a base structure over here, I want to get up top and get that gold farm up and running. Because as we've been working over here leveling out this area and down in the mine digging for ancient debris, every time that our pickaxes get low, I'm having to make the trek all the way back to spawn to mend things up at those mob farms, and it's getting to be a little bit of a hassle. So I'm gonna go ahead and head on up to where I want to break that bedrock, and let's get to it. I found a spot that's gonna work perfectly right at the corner of our tunnel here. So what we need is a very specific block, and it's got to be at the highest level of bedrock, which is 127. You can see it over here on the right side, targeted block at 127. And if you guys are interested in getting up above the Nether roof and breaking this and making an opening for yourself, I made a video a little while back. Put a link right now so you can check that out yourselves. I'm going to go ahead and get set up to head up there. I've got everything that I need in this shulker right here. I'm going to go ahead and make a little ladder path up there. Okay, I am ready to go ahead and get up above the bedrock. It's really simple to get up there. It's a little more complicated to actually break the bedrock. So let's go ahead and head on up. All we really need to do is just chuck a pearl right up here and just hop up. Easy enough, right? As easy as that. I really didn't even take any damage. But speaking of damage, I'm going to go ahead and throw on that chest plate just to make sure. And you can see the beam of the beacon from right down below. And this is actually a bug that's in the game right now. In 1.16.1, Endermen can somehow teleport up above the bedrock Nether roof, and they drop off the blocks that they happen to have in their hand. So this is a bit of a pain. I'm going to have to go along here and get rid of all these blocks so we don't have other spawns up here. It's always really cool being up here. It's just a spooky place to be. We're actually the first ones on the server that have made it up above the bedrock Nether roof. So I'm going to go ahead and find that block that we're going to break and get right to it. And this is the block right here. I wrote the coordinates down before coming up here. So I'm going to go ahead and get my setup going and see if we can get this thing broken. So the current method of breaking bedrock uses pistons and TNT, and it can be a little bit tricky. So I made sure to bring plenty extra of all the things that we needed, just in case we have trouble getting through. It usually takes a few different attempts before it's successful, and just in case we're not successful, I've got enough obsidian that we can make a nether portal and make our way to the overworld to safety so we're not stuck up here. I'm going to go ahead and get this set up and see how many attempts it takes me to get through this time. So it's a really basic setup that we're going to use here. It just comes down to timing. We're going to go into the swimming animation right underneath this trap door. We're going to place down a block of TNT there that's instantly going to activate because of the redstone. And we're going to spam and try to get a piston placed pretty much the same tick that the TNT explodes. And the game is going to think that the piston is extended, and it's going to pop the piece of bedrock right underneath there. So let's go ahead and give it a go. I think we're all ready. I'm going to go ahead and place the TNT and see what happens. Okay, no go on the first time. Rarely does it happen the first go. Not surprising at all. So we're going to keep at it, and let's see how many tries it takes us. And that is what we want to see. Because when we break this piston that's pointing up, you'll see that we've got a break that goes back down to where we came from. And it only took us about 4 or 5 tries. It just comes down to timing and getting that block placed at the exact game tick that you need to. Just kind of spamming on that click button. But now that we've got a safe path up and down, we can get started on this farm. I'm going to go ahead and map out exactly where we're going to put it, because it needs to be put in a very specific spot. We need to put it in a nether waste biome, and that's going to be right above that lava lake that's at the edge of the basalt delta that we're building in. For the mobs to spawn correctly, it needs to be in a nether waste biome. So I'm going to go ahead and mark this off where we're going to start building, and I will cut back in whenever I've got a little bit something to show you. So I've made a bit of progress. Let me show you what we've got. I've picked the exact spot that this farm is going to be built up off of. And I've made my way up with some scaffolding. This thing goes all the way up to build height. So if I place some blocks here, you'll see that I cannot go above right there, 255. This thing goes up as far as you can go in the world. And this right here is the template for the first spawning platform, this inner piece of glass. It's going to be made out of magma blocks, and there's going to be 19 of them. 19 of them spaced 2 blocks apart all the way down. And then there's going to be a little bit of a gap between the bottom platform and the killing floor down there. So I've got the framework of what this drop chamber is going to be like in the middle. Place some trapdoors. I've got a bunch of grindstones that are linked together to look like chains. I think that's pretty cool looking. And I'm going to have to put some turtle eggs in the very middle here. So as the zombie piglins spawn on the platforms out here, they're going to see the turtle egg, and then they're going to be driven in here and fall down into the killing area down there. So this top scaffold where the torch is going to be where the player stands. They're going to stand right here and swipe at all of the zombie pigmen that are collected in this little 3-block area right here. This block isn't going to be here. I might as well go ahead and take it out. So all of them are going to fall down this middle area right here and swipe away. There'll also be a little mechanism here that pushes honey blocks in and out from underneath of them. So it'll be a fatal drop farm where you're just collecting all of the drops from them falling down and dying. Or with the honey blocks over, you can swipe them for XP. So to get all of this going, I need to get a ton of hoppers. So I'm going to head back to spawn and show you guys the iron farm that Septic Spud and I built a little while back. We're back here at my spawn base, and I want to show you a couple of the decorations that I put up since we've been here last. You can see that I've got a lot of my mob heads up on the wall here, kind of hanging from the rafters. Some of the rare ones that I've got. And I'm going to make, you know, a real good room for these mob heads whenever I get my nether base built up a little bit more. So I'll be moving a lot of these over there because I do have a lot more of these guys that I want to put on display. And also up here, one of my prized possessions, I've got my Septic Slayer sword hung up over my mantle. So that's a nice little addition. And you can see that I have got shulker boxes that I have named and color-coded. I've got a couple of just random storage boxes where I've got just kind of a toolbox of items that I might need whenever I'm out and about. I've got my rocket box, so I got plenty of rockets on the go, and I can craft more. This is just kind of my backup gear and my general toolbox where I've got different buckets. Got some mending and unbreaking books that I can use on the fly if I need to. Backup wings, a little bit of everything here. And then I've got a potion box where I've got just different kinds of potions that I might need. And then I've got a lot of bottles of enchanting. And how I've been getting those is that I got another villager from Chaos's mob farm, brought him over here, and he's become kind of a recluse, honestly. He doesn't like hanging out with other people. He's just kind of taken up inside of the hill here. So I just come over here every now and then. Don't stay for too long. And I usually get lapis from him. I've gotten glowstone. And I also get bottles of enchanting. You can see since I've cured them, instead of 3 for 1, it's 1 for 1. So I can really stock up on these guys. And they're really good for mending on the go, especially your elytra. But let's go over and check out this iron farm that I was telling you about. So this is the most OP iron farm that I've ever seen. This was originally developed by Tango Tech from the LunaCraft server. And Septic Spud did a tutorial video on how to make this on his YouTube channel. I'll put a link up right now if you guys want to check that out. And I helped him make this over here. And it's not that difficult. The hardest part is definitely getting the zombies that you need in there. There's 4 zombies that are pushed up with pistons, and then they scare the 3 villagers that are on each corner into making iron golems, and then they just fall down into the collection area. This thing spawns between like 5 and 8 iron golems at a time, about every 45 to 60 seconds. Whenever these pistons raise up, and that's controlled by a little hopper clock down here, it just rains down iron golems. Should be tripping any second here. There they go. See the villagers shuffling around in a panic. And then here come the iron golems. It's incredibly efficient. And honestly, this size of a farm is not really needed unless you're in a multiplayer world, in my opinion. We've actually shut this off for a little while because the production was so much. I'll come down here to the collection area and show you a little bit of what we got. You see we got a ton of iron built up here. I'm going to go ahead and grab like 5 stacks of blocks just in case. There's no way that we're going to need that many, but it's better to have more than have too few. So I'm going to go ahead and head back over to the gold farm. And now that I got that iron, I can craft all of those hoppers that I need and get back to work. So I'll cut back in whenever I made a little bit more progress over there. Well, it's been a day or two since that last clip. I've been busy over here trying to get the sorting and storage system for this farm up and going before I build any more. I didn't want to get the spawning platforms up before I got that done, because I don't want zombie piglins spawning in over here and dropping down on my head while I'm trying to do my work down there. So I really wanted to get it straightened out before I did any work up top. So let me show you what I've got. And this is a pretty complicated redstone mechanism we have here. And it's basically because this farm is just going to be producing a ton of different drops. And I tried to simplify this setup to make it so it wasn't so crazy, but I quickly realized that this farm is going to produce so many drops that it needs something that's a little crazy. So I went ahead and followed the tutorial that I'm using for this farm and what they recommended for this system. You can see we just have a mess of hoppers and minecart hoppers here that work to kind of spread out the drops. If we just had a regular system of hoppers going into chests, into a sorting system, it would quickly get bogged down with the amount of drops that we're going to have. So this works to kind of spread out the drops and filter them into this sorting system that we have down here. And once we get this farm completely up and running, I'll show this in detail, how exactly it works. But it uses quite a bit of redstone trickery, and I surely would not be able to figure this out myself if I wasn't following a detailed tutorial. I will put a link in the description for that if you guys are interested in checking it out. And this is the system here that I was telling you about, how you can change it from AFK drop mode and XP mode. So right now we've got the honey blocks down here. All the zombie piglins are going to fall down. They won't die, and you can go to town with a sword, and you can get the looting on it, so you can get more drops, and you get all the XP. And then if you just want to AFK over here and build up gold and get the drops, you press this button. It retracts those honey blocks. Now it's just the hoppers exposed, so whenever they fall down, they're going to die, and you get all of the goodies, and then it just feeds right into the sorting system. So we've just got a little bit more work to do over here to get this farm operational. We've got to get these spawning platforms in, and then we've got to put the turtle eggs in the middle to lure the pigmen down into the drop chamber. And then we've got to do some finishing touches here and there on the farm. But that is going to have to wait till next episode. I appreciate you guys watching this one. If you'd hit that thumbs up button, I'd really appreciate it. And consider subscribing to see more content like this in the future. And I'll see you guys in the next one.